So this is the thing that I just pleaded. Let me show you. You can see this is GNS. See that? As soon as let me capture this before they share. You see, as soon this was 120. You probably saw that. As soon as I started recording, instantly 1,000 more shares dropped on AHT to bring it to 2.324, 2,324 shares. And the time now is 9, you can see the time, 9:42, 9:42 a.m. on January 22, 2024. Okay, 9:42 a.m. on January 20. You can see that. You can see as soon as I started recording, you can see GNS. It goes from, remember, a few seconds ago it was 270 something thousand. It goes from that to 346,000 shares. As these criminals called market makers, these hackers, privacy invaders, gang of idiots called market makers, monitor my computer and manipulate these stocks in the open market. You can see that? So the reason why I wanted to capture this, time now is 9:43 a.m. was because yesterday, the criminals, if you look at AHT, they keep palpitating AHT up and down yesterday. I will end it here for now until I file so that it will be public information at the same time. And the idiots sold AHT down to 8.33 while monitoring my computers and my network. Okay? Now, this morning, exactly 9:31 was the time that I turned this iPhone on. Then GNS was 0.68. You can see that in the chart. As soon as I turned it on and turned this light on, this bulb is the bulb that I put on to make sure that the criminals feel the light as they monitor this iPhone. As soon as I turned it on, instantly they dropped GNS from 0.68 to where it is now. You can see that. The AHT that you're looking at 1,230 shares until I started recording. It goes to 2,342 shares, 32 shares. Had been here for the past, what time is it? For the past 12 minutes. It was exactly right here. Okay? This video is 2 minutes long. I decided to make it since I'm pleading this information. And you can see as I'm recording, you can see that. You can see AHT, you can see Dow Jones and AHT coded to end in 8 together with Apple. And then you can see GNS. You can see all of them coded to end in 8. You can see that for yourself. GNS, Dow Jones, Apple, and AHT coded to end in 8 as I started recording. Okay? I'm going to end it here. The video is 3 minutes and 30 seconds long. I want to make it useful. I'm back 7 minutes later. You can see that. 7 minutes later, I'm back. You can see that. Okay? 7 minutes later. Okay? 7 minutes later, the stock that was taken down yesterday while monitoring my computers, still exactly where it was. Time 9:49 a.m. January 22, 2025. Okay? And you can see everything else. I want to make sure I emphasize this for the jury to see clearly. You see that? At 9:50, the volume on AHT is 2,350 shares. 2,350 shares. 9:50 a.m. January 22, 2025. My names are Jude, Kenneth, Madoka, Oji. Thank you. See that? Time is 10:04 a.m. January 22, 2025. 10:04 a.m. You can see AHT. The volume is now, as I came on here, 3,000 shares. That's 1,500 shares. You can see that. That's GNS. You can see the entire order book on my iPhone. Now look at this. This is Enright. I gave the number for Enright. AHT is exactly where it was more than 12 minutes ago after I left. Volume is 2,509 shares. That's 1,200 shares. The Enright is 3 shares. 3 shares dropped it from 140 to 130. 3, not 3,000. You can see that? Okay. Time now, 10 point. You can see it on top, the top left-hand corner of the iPhone that was hacked by these criminals. 10:05 a.m. January 22, 2024. So the time, 10:15. 10:15 a.m. 10:15 a.m. 10:15 a.m. See that? This was exactly 8:47 was exactly the price the criminals had the stock yesterday before I tried to record. And they ran it, they flipped it to 8.79 and then dropped it after I stopped. See that? 103 shares. 103 shares on Enright. 103 shares on Enright. 103 shares on Enright. Can see GNS. Okay. Time 10:16 a.m. January 22, 2025. I'm back. See that? See the volume? Can see the volume magically doubled to 5,200. That's actually 2,300 shares, actual shares. Can see that? That's the AHT. Time now is 10:41 a.m. January 22, 2024, 2025. You can see Enright, 103 shares. You can see GNS, exactly where it was 10 minutes ago. You can see that? We're talking about our sophisticated market makers. They're full of cash. They have pockets full of billions of dollars. You can see how crime has overdrawn the U.S. economy in the name of market making. Thank you. Again, you can see the time. 10:31. 10:31 a.m. January 22, 2024. It's very evident on the phone, on the iPhone hacked by these criminals, parading as market makers. Just see that? Time is 10:44 a.m. 10:44 a.m. Likely the last time I will do the recording today. Consider volume on AHT, 5,328 shares. Okay? 10:44 a.m. 10:44 a.m. on January 22, 2025. This is Enright. 103 shares used to drop it as the criminals saw me watching my iPhone just to make sure that they tell me that they are still here. Okay? And then you can see the GNS, 721,000 shares. Okay? still held exactly where it was at 9:31 a.m. when I opened this app, and the criminals stalked me and started dropping it. Time again 10:45 a.m. See that? 10:45 a.m. January 22, 2025. Thank you.
So that I don't repeat the same mistake to the next person. I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing, only to find that this person is offended.
Can see the time? 11:15 a.m. 11:15 a.m. January 22, 2025. I returned. Just to add more data here, you can see the volume on AHT 7,317. That's 3,000 shares impact. Yesterday, the criminals generated almost 60,000 shares of volume as they fought to bring the stock down in reaction to hacking into, invading my computer and seeing movement in my account. You can see that if you look here. You can see the Enride still at 109 shares. Okay, if you look at this, this is the GNS. Okay, the video is now 11 minutes and 41 seconds long. Trying to make it a little, to raise it to 15 minutes so I can be able to post it when I'm done with what I'm doing. Okay, but I wanted to capture this data. I'll come back. You can see the volume 7,317. I'll come back and update this video sometime today. Then at 11:16 a.m. January 22, 2025, the criminals that are market makers in the stock, the hackers, you can see where it is. Videos don't lie. That's how we've been able to get to the stage we have gotten to today, as will be seen by the world next week. Consider time 11:41 a.m. 11:41 a.m. is the time. If you look here, you can see the volume on AHT is 9,614 shares. 11:42 a.m. is now the time. The volume on AHT is 9,614 shares. That's about 4,500 shares in total. Now look, this is the Enride. You can see that. You can see the volume is 126 shares. You can see that 7 of these criminals, including the criminal that hacked into my computers much of last year, GTA Securities, they are all market makers in this stock. 7 of these criminal entities are all market makers in this stock. Enride, and if you look at the GNS, essentially where it was 681 shares, and if you look further down, well, you won't see that here because it's not reflected, but the market cap on this stock is less than $40 million. The company has a value of $74 million and has over $40 million of cash in Bitcoin. You can see the value, and if you look clearly, you will see that only 3 stocks were red here, and you can see that the Apple was coded red just because it was on this screen. Earlier today, these criminals have coded Apple to end in 8 at the same time as the relevant securities and Dow Jones. Remember, 500 of these criminals were following me. Over 300 of them ran out and fled the @ChiefOG account after we filed requesting for a DOJ criminal referral. I have not checked my Twitter since because I'm ready. I've been busy trying to get these documents organized to be able to make sure we have everything ready for the court by next week. After that, we'll go back to Twitter. But I wanted to make sure that I finish up this video with the latest, as we will be referring this video to the jury. You can see that 9,614 shares is the volume on AHT as at 11:44 a.m. on January 22, 2024. Yesterday, the volume was more than 60,000. Not a single news out there on AHT yesterday, except the news that came out earlier, which showed that the company actually raised over $60 million from selling a particular property. That is the new face of crime in America, championed and led by market makers. Thank you. Again, my names are Jude Kenneth Orji, and I want to make this video as short as possible so that it can be useful. I see the time, 11:46 a.m. Less than 1 second ago. See that? Less than 1 second ago, I was here, and you can see that it was the volume on AHT was 7,300 shares. You can see the volume almost doubled to 10,670 shares. And you can see exactly what happened. The criminals instantly dropped it. As soon as I stopped the video, they instantly dropped it to 8.31 to match the 1.31 on Enright and 0.30 on GANS. And as soon as I had actually returned to get the number, that's 7,000, so I can put it in the filing that we're making. And as soon as I came in, I saw that the stock was dropped seconds after I left to 8.31, and so I decided to add that data in the video. Our sophisticated market makers in action. So I decided to add the data in the video. Okay, the time now, if you can see the time I returned, it was less than 1 minute after the posting of the first video. And as I'm talking, you can see that, as always, you catch a criminal, he tries to tell you, oh, well, yeah, I'm a criminal. And you can see as I was talking, GNS raised to 0.638. Apple coded to end in 8. QQQ, which is NASDAQ, ended in 8. And AHT ended in 8. You can see that. GNS 0.638. AHT, as I returned to the video, they wanted to make sure it enters my video, ended in 8.38. You can see that? You can see the time, 11.48. 8 appears to be the order of the day. We like 8. Okay? This video will hit the website, will hit the YouTube channel, The Criminals of Wall Street, today, so it can be used. Thank you. And the video is 19 minutes long. My names are Jude Kenneth Orji, and I will be ending it here. You can see that. You can see the stock that just ran, the volume that went up from 7,300 shares to 10,570 shares. Less than 7 seconds after I paused the video, you can see it's exactly the same place. You can see that? Bye.